just woken up, and it is going to be day 1 of doing a light strike for Ned and Sandy, mother, Sue, and my father as well. So I want to show you guys what my life is like doing that. And the strike is to get them to 5K. So the sun is up. Making sure that I have as much light as possible by opening all of the blinds and things during the day. Not using a hair dryer. I just roll my hair into with using bobby pins and a couple of hair ties to get my hair to be more in a wavy knot. And it's not perfect. Sometimes the hair ties don't help, but keeps it from getting tangly in my sleep and gives it a semblance of some style, and also helps in the needing to wash it less because hot water requires electricity. So I'm really hungry and thirsty as well, so we need to change locations. The one thing that Serene, the mother of Sandy and Ahmed, has asked is she just wishes that she could have a cold cup of water, and so I'm not going to be drinking. I have access to cold water, but I'm not going to be drinking cold water either, because the cold water comes out of the fridge. And our faucets are temperature controlled, so I just have it on the setting between the warm and between hot and cold to be what water would probably be like, coming just kind of a lukewarm water. And when the water is hot, to use the least amount of gas as well. So I can untie that again. We'll see. Otherwise I have to cut it. And since things are dirty, I'm just flipping them inside out so that the inside will have it versus the outside. Where's the other sock? Okay.
Hi, I'm Sandy again. If you're asking about me, I'm not fine. It's very hot. We don't have a fan. Electricity. I feel very thirsty and wish I could drink a glass of cold water, but we haven't refrigerator or electricity. I'm afraid of the dark, but we don't have a lamp or electricity. I miss my grandparents north in Gaza, but the phone battery ran out. There was electricity to charge it. Can you imagine that? This is our life since October 7th. Please contribute to alleviating our suffering by donating.
Now that the laundry is done, this is toothpaste that I've made myself in a repurposed jar from a refillable toothpaste that I got. It's just charcoal, activated charcoal, a little bit of coconut oil, and I added in like some ground up anise and baking soda. I think this time I put in like citric acid to keep it fresh or something, and then my bamboo toothbrush, and this is not a plug for any brands, I'm just showing you like what I already have. So I taste the butter and I taste the onion. It's a lot of Gazans for this part of the day. Add in, you can do loose leaf. I have a tea bag, and just make sure it gets saturated and sinks in, and then we wait. While I am waiting for the kettle and the sun tea, I really make a ritual in summer to go around opening windows while it's still cool for the light, but also paying attention to where the sun is as to keep the most heat out. It's a delicate balance. Lovely flowers. For breakfast, I'm going to be making oats in an effort to use water that I am heating up with for tea as well. Again, Palestinian families, very few of them have any access to any gas or cooking oils. They're doing this over fire right now. So this is still very privileged to just be able to heat up a kettle of water in a kitchen. But I'm going to be adding water to this, letting it sit because I'm starving, and I also don't want to wait very long to actually cook it on the stove. Oh, it's cooling up. I add a little bit of soap, and I make one for soapy water, one for rinsing water. Now, I don't typically wear makeup every day, but this is something that most Americans I know do, or are very uncomfortable being seen without a full face of makeup. And the only people that we typically see, like, I want you to think of how many times someone in this patriarchal society has told you you look sick or tired because you didn't have a full face of makeup or more print to put together. Now imagine that you don't have access to your mirror and your makeup on top of losing your entire home, living in a tent with no access to electricity. Even when I lived in a camper for several months, I still had some access, limited, but some access to a bit of electricity. I showered, I peed, I pooped outside, but still had access to electricity for a small AC unit and then a small refrigerator. So think about having to do all the things, deal with all the horrific things on top of, you know, your normal practices, things like just being able to brush your hair and do your makeup, and have light to do that and comfort to do that, not being able to do that. My shirt is still wet, but I need to go get some of these things and before it gets too terribly hot outside, which is another thing to think of. There's no escape from the heat. As if you've watched the video, the reel that I posted of Sandy, she talks about how hot it is. So not only is there not electricity for her to have a nightlight, and she is terrified of the dark, there's no real and true shelter. The word that Serene used was sweltering. The tent is sweltering hot. So that's another thing that this, you know, there's no escape from the things that, like heat, even though it's not just the electricity. So I have my green and my green white and my more green, and then I also, this is a plug because Athira Yacoub is an awesome Palestinian American comedian, and this is her bag. And I think in her original post where I saw that she had bags and t-shirts for sale, and a lot of the proceeds are going to Gazans, Palestinians in need, specifically in Gaza, I believe. There is a zipper. So I get so excited that there's a zipper. So many totes don't have a zipper, right? But she has t-shirts and bags for sale, and the way that she put it was, you know, denied access, or denied entry, and her name is on this side in English, but then in Arabic on this side. And I believe it was in her post or in her story, I was laughing because she was like, because people are just scared of Arabic because of so much of the conditioned Islamophobic propaganda and rhetoric. And I personally did experience that as a child as well. You know, I was in early middle school around the time of 9/11, and I was told very specific things that now, looking back from my parents, they just got that from the news. and, you know, whatever the government was saying. So I'm going to walk now out into the heat and find a few things like candles, hopefully, and I will update you guys soon on how that journey goes. But yeah, check out last little plug. Please follow Ethereal. Please get a tote, a t-shirt, one, the other, both, and support her, and that's another way that you can support other Palestinians. Okay, it's now afternoon. I've been having side pain, and last fall, in the stress of learning of Palestinians and all that they've been enduring since 1948, as well as coming to grips with the reality of the colony that I currently reside in. I ended up in the hospital, and turns out I had kidney stones. So I'm feeling that same pain again, hoping that that's not what it is, but I'm going to go locate some things that I've been told help in case it is a kidney stone that's trying to pass. And also, while I'm out, I'll be looking for candles, since I don't have my own, or wax, since I don't have my own wax. It's Saturday here, so there's also a chance that there are some yard sales happening. So if there are, I'll be perusing those for some candles as well. I don't have a vehicle, so I'll be or access to a vehicle, and so I will be doing this all while walking, which another thing that I think about is seeing so many children without shoes, and just having to flee their homes with nothing, much like Ahmed and Sandy had to do, their mother Serene informing me. And I have shoes that were causing, based on my hip and knee structure, how I was formed in the womb. I have always had like a little bit of pain here and there, but as I am older, 35, it's been, you know, increasing. And as women, you know, like our bodies go through changes, and I just imagine the stress and the change, like, you know, I'm just witnessing. And so I can not imagine what Serena's feeling with two children. She's birthed two children. You know, I haven't birthed any. I'm 35, and I know the things that are happening in my body as they change, the different things that I've started to need access to that most Americans take for granted, of just being able to run out to a store, and most Palestinians have not had consistent access to anything that they need. Not just October 7th either of 2023, but for many, many decades due to the occupation. It's really hard to talk and do eyeliner. All right. So ooh.